Welcome to Good Vibes TV. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, here to explore all the ways we can raise our vibration and thrive. In this episode, my guest is Michelle Joy, known as a Somatic Activated Healer and Life Coach. Michelle is on a mission to help people heal themselves and those around them with the power of love. She believes everyone is worthy of living a life of joy, success, and fulfillment in their higher purpose. She has a degree in psychology from Utah State University and has been studying and connecting the dots of science and spirituality for self-growth for the past 15 years. Please welcome to the show, Michelle Joy. So welcome to the show, Michelle. I'm so excited to find out about Somatic Activated Healing. It's a new modality for me, so I'm so excited to learn about it. Tell us what Somatic Activated Healing is.
Yeah, thank you, Leslie. So Somatic Activated Healing is an incredible transformative breakthrough healing modality. And I learned it from Saw D. Simone. He created this method. It's also known as the SAW method. And how it started was he was asked to speak and teach the method at Deepak Chopra's live event. And it was something that kind of just came together for him. So it's a combination of meditation, breath work, ecstatic dance, and affirmations. So the combination is so powerful for releasing trauma from the body and for raising your vibration.
Now, you're talking about releasing trapped emotions in the body. Can you expand a little bit about that? Not everyone understands that our emotions, are energy, and, we can suppress that energy in our body, or our body holds different traumas. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. So one of the great books for learning more about this, if people want to study it on their own, is called The Body Keeps the Score. Most people don't know, yes, that when we don't fully process and release emotions, they become trapped in our body, and our body is holding on to them for later time to be able to process them safely. So if someone is in a situation where their nervous system is overactivated and they're not able to release that excess energy, it can become trapped in the body. And this can manifest as a lot of different physical symptoms, diseases, mental health crises, you name it. When there's trapped energy in the body, it starts to manifest in other ways. So that is how it can show.
So when we naturally do this, right? The emotions get stored in the body. Do we naturally release them, or do we need to consciously do that?
Yeah, so I think it depends on everyone's situation, culture, upbringing, how in tune we were taught to be with our emotions and to have it modeled to us. Maybe some emotions were labeled bad or more favored. So let's take an example of if someone wasn't allowed to be angry as a child. It was something you couldn't do because it led to, having a big conflict or bad behavior. Then that child would be suppressing the anger deeper, and then might explode and not be showing their anger in a healthy, productive way. So by learning how to be with anger, digest it without acting on it from a place of reactivity, something like that would be a good example of teaching how to digest. And the tools in Somatic Activated Healing, breathing, sitting with the emotions, dancing, moving the body to get the energy out instead of just repressing them and distracting yourself.
Can you give an example of how to release that energy? I know we're gonna go a little bit into the actual technique, but is it just shaking off? Sometimes you see a dog just like shake, shake off of something. Is that similar to what happens in the somatic healing?
Yeah. So shaking is part of the process. It's one of the phases in a somatic activated healing is shaking, just shaking your hands all the way head to toe, shaking your feet up and down. And that is because you're regulating your nervous system. You are releasing that pent up energy and allowing it to open and come out. And so, yeah, just like an animal in the wild, after they have a fight or flight response, they shake to come back down, to calm themselves back down. We as humans are often, out in society having to wear a mask or a facade of being put together, not necessarily able to just let the body release the energy. So that's why in somatic activated healing, you're kind of setting aside your critical mind, judging your movement or your dancing, and you're letting your body move in the ways it needs to heal itself.
Wow. So we naturally have this ability, but we haven't really learned it, or at least our culture that we're in now, I don't think really has that as an option or a way to deal with emotions that I'm aware of.
Yeah. And I mean, when people are nervous, they naturally shake, so the body is doing it, but often we try to suppress that. And so it's working against nature instead of with it, essentially.
I gotcha. Okay. So that's the body part of your healing work. Now, you also talked about the mind and the self-talk and affirmations. So how does that fit into the picture when you're releasing the negative emotion? Then what's going on with the mind?
Yeah. So, like you said, I have a psychology degree. So my healing journey and self-growth journey first started with the mindset, with learning thoughts and working with affirmations and, trying to do all the rewiring, the reprogram from the mind. And that was helpful. It worked to a certain extent. But once I learned the somatic activated healing of incorporating the body for releasing the energy and then programming in those new beliefs, those new thoughts, it's way more powerful. So, for example, when I work with a client and make a personalized session for them, if they have a belief that they're not good enough, that they don't deserve to be seen, something like that, that's a confidence or self-esteem wound that we can identify. Then as I create the session, I will put in the moves to help them. There's certain moves that help to clear that energy out, that old energy out, and move the body in a new way to create a higher self-esteem. And at the same time, rewire in a affirmation that goes with that higher self-esteem. So you're including the body into it and the mind, and that really helps build that connection, and your brain believes it more.
Yeah, I love that because the universe hates a vacuum. So whenever you clear something, it's very important to be intentional with what are you going to put in that space. Because if you just leave it open, then any old thought or emotion or old pattern can come back in. But when you're intentionally replacing it with, clearing and then putting in the energy that you want, that's so much more powerful, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It really is. And then the more you practice it, the move with the affirmation and the breath, all of it, it just becomes so much more grounded in your body and, becomes your new truth. So it's really amazing the amount of changes and what I've seen of as far as how fast a transformation can happen with someone.
What kind of results have you had as far as that length of transformation?
Yeah, so for me personally, I was able to really get away from a habit of anxiety. So anxiety had been really common for me, and in the learning the Somatic Activated Healing, he talks about how we want to drop the story and be with the feelings. So typically when we're working with the mind for changing trauma or those kinds of things, we're trying to get to the end of the situation, trying to work with ourselves to figure something out. And that has its place. But if you are prone to anxiety, realizing that you have permission to just completely set the story aside, set the thoughts aside, and tune into your body, like a body scan meditation is part of the process. So tune into your body. What am I feeling? What does anxiety feel like in the body? Is it heavy? Is it tight? Where do I feel it? And then as you breathe into it and just sit with it, it begins to loosen. It begins to digest and let go. So that's one aspect of processing the emotions, is just putting the mind aside and noticing the sensations in your physical body and sitting with them and allowing them to be noticed and released. So doing that practice over and over, I started to notice that quite often, once I set the thoughts aside and came to my body and then went back to the thoughts, there was no more anxiety. There was no more stress. It was kind of an illusion that I could separate myself from.
So it dissipated it.
Yeah.
It just neutralized it by using that technique.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, you also have a third part with an energy blueprint that you add also to your methodology. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it's the study of human design. So I learned about human design about 4 years ago. And as I found what my true natural innate energy is, that really helped me a lot with, knowing what my natural tendencies are, how my energy works, and then being able to determine what's me, what's trauma, what's conditioning. And so that's a tool that I have that I can help my clients with for understanding themselves and their natural innate gifts, how their energy levels work. And so that's a really incredible way that I like to pair the two, so people can clear out the trauma that's not them and accept the parts of them that are truly authentically them, and give themselves permission to embrace.
So does the energy blueprint work happen before you work on releasing and doing the somatic activated healing, or does it happen after?
It's an option if someone wants to go into a deep dive of healing and transformation, what level they want to understand themselves and are working on their life purpose and their healing. So the somatic activated healing can be more of a finite thing, working on specific issues, clearing shame from a trauma or clearing a fear specifically. And the human design is if someone wants to understand themselves on a deeper level and how their energy works in relationships and how to improve that type of thing.
We're talking about energy. So do you believe that raising a person's vibration is important to getting to homeostasis, to health?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, what's so powerful about the somatic activated healing is that it has that ability to clear out what's trapped in the body that we don't know. It's subconscious. And so you may be consciously wanting to raise your vibration, putting all this energy into positive thinking and doing these things. But if there's dense energy trapped in your body, you're going to be kind of working against it, and it's going to be a lot harder, more of an uphill battle. So yeah, as I've cleared out a lot of things from the Somatic Activated Healing, and definitely could feel a big change in raising my vibration and in opening up my heart, having more connection to my heart from doing that. And that, I believe, really helps to raise your vibration, as you can be more in tune with love and the frequency of love.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, will you be able to share a technique that we can actually participate in and maybe see some effect?
Yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, we will learn how Michelle raises her vibration and how we can learn how to do that as well. Welcome back to Good Vibes TV. I'm Leslie Klein, interviewing Michelle Joy, a somatic activated healer and life coach. And here's Michelle. She is going to actually take us through a practice of this somatic activated healing. So, Michelle, the floor is yours.
All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to get ready to relax and begin a meditation, some breath work, and some movement. So get comfortable. You can sit on the ground, you can lie down. Just going to listen and tune into our inner world. So set aside any worries, any concerns, your to-do list, and we'll begin to ground and close our eyes. So close your eyes, and we'll start with the body scan meditation. So notice your feet on the floor. Imagine growing roots like a tree down into the center of the earth. And as we begin, notice on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel in this moment? Do you feel heavy? Or do you feel more light, more joy, more peace? And just take some slow, deep breaths. Just dropping the story of the mind and noticing what's inside the body without judgment, just curiosity, sense of compassion. We'll begin to scan from the bottom of our feet, slowly and gently up the body, using the light of your awareness to sweep gently back and forth up your feet, your legs. Noticing any tension or warmth. Just loosening, relaxing, anything that's ready to be released after you notice it. Gently scanning up your back, your stomach, breathing into anything you notice. Scanning up your chest, sending any warmth to your heart, breathing into it, allowing yourself to let go of anything you're holding on to that's not for your highest good and is ready to be released. Out your arms, down your hands, out your fingertips, feeling more and more relaxed. Up your neck, softening your throat, your jaw, letting any tension go, all the way up to the top of your head. Maybe you imagine going up out of the top of your head, bright white light, or pink or purple, that light connecting up above. And coming back down, filling your body with this light, breathing it in. And as the light comes down from the top of your head, all the way down into every cell of your body, it's clearing out any tension, any old energy or emotions that aren't for your highest good and the highest good of all, and just letting them fall down into the earth. Sending yourself some love. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And now we'll take a couple of deep breaths. So this is a straw breath that you can do when you notice you're getting anxious or stressed. You purse your lips together like you're drinking through a straw. And then you hold at the top, and then you breathe out your nose. So you do it as slow as you can. Do a couple more. One more. So that's a simple breath you can do to relax your nervous system and just return down to homeostasis. And so in a session, we would then do some stretching and some shaking to open up the energy pathways now that you've relaxed the nervous system. So you could get up and dance and shake and move around and stretch. That would be next for helping to get out some of the old trapped emotions.
What I felt when I did the body scan was like a tension in my throat, and some of that went away. But if I wanted to do something to release it better, what would you suggest? Just shaking like this, or?
If in a session, if working together, I was able to determine what emotion it might be related to, then I can create the session around that. So if we found that it was related to an old emotion of fear or of guilt, all the many different emotions that can be possible, then there's certain movements that we can help to release that one. So that would be the next part, where we go into movements and then the ecstatic dance to let your body do the talking. Another thing with the throat is allowing yourself to make sounds. So it can be and doing the primal well, which is a deep sound from the sacral, from the womb. And when women give birth, they do this primal well naturally, and so that's actually something that can be built into a session of releasing with a primal yell. And so it's not coming from the throat, but it's coming from the belly, and really building up that energy, and that can clear out the pathway, but you're not hurting your throat. And then also there is another breath, the ha breath. And so this is in through the nose twice, and then we out loud with the HA. And that really helps clear out stagnant energy. So that's weaved into a session also for, as you sit with an emotion, maybe you notice, oh, there's some fear coming up. As we audibly make the we can set an intention that it's coming up and out of us. And this is something also I've done in Kundalini yoga for the lion's breath, the ha breath, for clearing out that dense energy, for raising your vibration.
If someone wants to learn more about you, I'm going to put your website here, MichelleJoyHeal.com/home will help people, is where people can go to learn more about you. And I did want you to talk a little bit about the power of love. In the intro, we talked about how you believe that the power of love will transform people, that heals not only yourself but the people around you. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the emotional scale, right, at the bottom, the lowest vibration is shame. And as we go up this scale, the high vibration is love. And I have experienced, by setting an intention of love in my Somatic Activated Healing sessions, it can break up this dense energy. So just to share my personal experience, I had been working most of my life to clear out some trapped shame that I had had from childhood, from an experience that consciously I knew wasn't my fault, but it was still residing in my body. And it was this deep shame that it showed in ways of afraid of being seen, of feeling like I needed to hide myself. And I was working so hard from my mind to try to figure it out and to get rid of it. And I had a Somatic Activated Healing session where we were clearing out the emotion of shame. And I had the memory come up, the thing that I was trying to heal. And I felt it come up, and I looked at it, and I sent it love. I sent the shame love. And I felt it dissipate. I felt it finally be clear from my body, because the more you try to suppress shame or fear, these denser things, the more they just get rooted. And when you take the high frequency love energy and you infuse it into these denser emotions, it can then release. And so that was my experience with it. After I infused the love into that deep shame, it was out, it was gone, and I quickly noticed a change in my ability to be able to open up my heart, to feel into the sense of unconditional love for myself and those around me on a greater level. And so when I do a somatic activated healing session with a client, and when I lead it, I set an intention of unconditional love to have the ability to break up the stagnant emotions and have them do the same of, set an intention of love for the highest good. And I'm always learning, and I'm also learning new modalities. So I'm also studying a energy healing modality that is sacred geometry and love healing. And so it's the frequency of love has the power to heal everything.
Absolutely. One of my favorite quotes from Jimi Hendrix. I'll put it up. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And that's a quote that when I first heard it, it's like, oh, I love that. And it's so true. And it is about the power of love and using the power of love to heal those lower emotions, because love is like one of the highest vibrations, and how we can tell where we're vibrating at is by knowing what emotion are we feeling, what emotion are we living in, what emotion are we putting out there, and also what we're putting out there we're getting back as well.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to find out how you can work with Michelle Joy. And welcome back to Good Vibes TV. I'm interviewing Michelle Joy. She is a somatic activated healer and life coach, and it's been a wonderful experience. We had a little session of scanning our body and doing some breath work, which are some tools that people can use when they're feeling stressed out, when you're feeling in that flight, fight, panic mode. And so if someone wants to work with you, Michelle, what's the best way to reach you? Is it through your website?
Yeah, you can go to my website. You can book a call with me to get to know each other, or book a session. And you can also connect with me on social media or by email. I'm happy to have a chat and just get to know each other and help you in any way.
Love it. So email is hello@MichelleJoyHeal.com. Michelle, you have a special for Good Vibes viewers, and can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, you can get 25% off a somatic activated healing session with me. So I would love to be able to help you to release a trapped emotion or trauma that's hiding in your body, that's manifesting in stress or fear, and help you get to the root of that and clear it out so you can be more free and live a life that you feel excited about.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, your energy is so soothing. So just being around your presence is healing. So that's so awesome.
Thank you.
I love your name, Joy, because joy is another one of those emotions that's way up there in terms of vibration.
Yes, thank you.
Michelle, do you have any last thoughts for our audience before we close?
Yeah, well, I know that if you're watching Good Vibes TV, that you are someone who wants to continually grow and improve your life. And I believe in you. I know that you are important to the world in creating this ripple effect of healing, of love. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'm happy to hear from you and connect with you more.
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle. It was truly a joy to interview you today, get to know you better, and learn some of the techniques that you do. And I want to thank you for being on Good Vibes TV.
Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it. I loved it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing your gifts with us today. And thank you, Good Vibes viewers, for watching. Did you learn something new in this episode? If so, share it out with your friends and family. And remember to raise your vibe and thrive. Peace out, everyone.